The massive alien ship hung in Earth's orbit like a dead whale. Its hull was scarred and dented. Parts of its outer plating were missing entirely. It looked like it belonged in a scrapyard, not in space above humanity's home planet. Captain Allison. Reeves stood straight-backed on the observation deck of the International Space Station. She watched as the Vraxian shuttle approached the docking bay. 5 years after first contact, humans were still getting used to meeting aliens. The Vraxian ambassador Zekatar was coming to present Earth with a gift. "What do you think, Captain?" asked Jack Martinez, who stood beside her. He was the best engineer in the North American Space Force. His dark eyes studied the derelict ship with unusual interest. "I think they're insulting us," said Allison. She brushed a strand of blonde hair back under her cap. "That thing is garbage," Jack shrugged. "Maybe, but even alien garbage might teach us something." The airlock hissed open. Ambassador Zekatar entered with his delegation. The Vraxians were tall, their blue-gray skin stretched over angular frames. They moved with a smoothness that seemed unnatural to human eyes. "Captain Reeves," said Zekatar, his translator device making his words sound flat, "we are pleased to present the Galactic Coalition's gift to Earth." He gestured toward the viewport and the dead ship beyond. A decommissioned Imperial vessel, the Kralith. It served our fleet for many cycles before becoming obsolete. Allison forced a smile. "Thank you, Ambassador. Earth appreciates this generous gesture." Zekatar's mouth formed what might have been a smile but looked more like a sneer. "We are happy to help your species advance. Perhaps studying it will help your people catch up to Coalition technology. Eventually." The meeting continued with formal speeches and hollow pleasantries. When it was over, Allison found Jack staring at the ship again. "They think we're stupid," she said quietly. Jack nodded. "The question is, are they right?" 3 days later, Allison met with Dr. Nathan Clark in a secure conference room at Space Force headquarters in Houston. Nathan was younger than most xenotechnology specialists, but his brilliance made up for his lack of experience. His report on the alien vessel lay open on the table. "It's not completely worthless," Nathan explained, pointing to diagrams on his tablet. "The hull material alone is unlike anything we've developed, and some of the technology is salvageable." "But most of it is broken?" Allison asked. "Deliberately disabled," Nathan corrected. "They removed or damaged key components. It's like giving a car to someone but taking out the engine and cutting all the wiring." Jack Martinez entered, carrying his own tablet. "I've been through the engineering sections. Dr. Clark is right. They gutted it, but they left the framework. It's like they wanted to tease us with what we can't have." Allison frowned. "Can we fix it?" Jack and Nathan exchanged looks. "Maybe," Jack said. "With time, resources, and secrecy." "Why secrecy?" Allison asked. "Because," Nathan said, leaning forward, "if we actually get this ship working, it would be better if the Vraxians didn't know until it was too late to stop us." Later that week, Allison stood before the Space Force Command Council, arguing for a special project budget. "They gave us this ship to mock us," she said, "to remind us how far behind we are. I'm proposing we prove them wrong." "With all due respect, Captain," said Admiral Foster, "we can't waste resources on alien scrap when we need to build our own fleet." "What if it's not scrap?" Allison countered. "What if it's the key to catching up faster than they expect?" The debate lasted hours. In the end, Allison got her funding, but with strict conditions. The project would be classified. Per the asteroid, base was cold and cramped, but it served its purpose. Hidden in Earth's asteroid belt, it provided the perfect cover for Project Phoenix. No prying alien eyes could see what the humans were doing with their gift. Samantha Wright floated through the alien ship's exposed engine room. Her red hair was tied back in a tight ponytail and her face was smudged with grease. She had been working on the propulsion systems for 16 hours straight. "Find anything interesting?" Jack Martinez asked, pulling himself into the chamber. Samantha grinned and pointed to a large cylindrical device. "The Vraxians thought they disabled the main drive by removing these components. But look at this. She tapped her tablet, showing Jack a design schematic. Is that one of our fusion reactors? He asked, squinting at the screen. A modified version. I think we can bypass their sabotage by adapting our tech to work with theirs. The connection points are different, but the principles are the same. Jack whistled. The aliens would never expect that. They think we're centuries behind them. We are, Samantha said, but we're good at working with what we have. In another section of the ship, Dr. Nathan Clark sat surrounded by alien displays. Most were dark, but 3 glowed with strange symbols. He had been working for months to crack the alien computer systems. Any progress? Captain Reeves asked as she entered the room. Nathan jumped slightly. Yes, actually. Big progress. He gestured to the screens. I found a backdoor into their database. The Vraxians wiped most of the memory banks, but they missed some technical files. I've been translating them. Allison moved closer. What have you learned? This wasn't just any warship, it was advanced even by their standards. And those weapon mounts that we thought were empty. He pulled up a diagram on his tablet. They still contain the basic framework for energy weapons more powerful than anything Earth has developed. Allison's eyes widened. Can we rebuild them? With these specs and some creativity, maybe. 3 months later, the team gathered in what they now called the bridge. It was beginning to look less alien and more human, with a mix of Earth technology integrated into the alien systems. The hybrid reactor is online, Jack reported. We're generating power at 30% capacity. It's stable. Navigation and basic life support are functioning, Nathan added. And I've managed to access more of the ship's memory. There's a wealth of technical data here. Allison nodded, pleased with their progress. What about defenses and propulsion? Samantha stepped forward. That's where it gets interesting. We discovered something unexpected. She brought up a display showing an intricate pattern of circuits throughout the ship. The Vraxians used a neural interface to control some systems. It's partially damaged, but I've been studying it. I think human brains might actually be more compatible with it than Vraxian ones. What does that mean? Allison asked. It means the ship might respond better to us than it did to them, especially the weapons targeting systems. Jack laughed. Imagine their faces if they knew. A communication alert sounded. It was a secure channel from Earth. Admiral Foster's face appeared on screen. Captain Reeves, we've received intelligence that the Vraxians have been asking questions about your project. They claim they're just curious about how humans are enjoying their gift, but our analysts think they're getting suspicious. Allison straightened. We're making good progress, sir. Better than expected. Good. Because I'm sending you Lieutenant Ben Russell. He's our best tactical officer. If this ship ever becomes combat ready, you'll need him. After the call ended, Allison looked around at her team. The Vraxians are watching us. They gave us this ship expecting us to fail. We need to be careful about what they learn. Nathan smiled. Don't worry. As far as their spies can tell, we're just a bunch of primitives playing with junk we don't understand. Little do they know, Samantha said, patting the ship's bulkhead. This junk is starting to understand us. Ogress would be evaluated monthly, and they had 1 year to show results. As she left the meeting, her secure phone buzzed. It was a message from Jack. Found someone who can help. Civilian engineer, brilliant with systems integration. Names, Samantha Wright. Allison smiled as she looked up at the night sky. Somewhere up there, the Vraxians were laughing at the primitive humans playing with broken toys. She wondered how long that laughter would last. 6 months into the project, the ship was transforming. What had once been a dead hull now hummed with power. Lights flickered along corridors that had been dark for years. The team worked day and night, making breakthrough after breakthrough. Jack Martinez stood in the engine room admiring his creation. The hybrid reactor system combined Earth's fusion technology with alien power distribution networks. It glowed with a blue-white light that pulsed like a heartbeat. It's beautiful, said Samantha Wright as she joined him, and it's producing more power than we expected. Jack nodded. The Vraxians designed their systems to waste energy. They have so much technology they don't care about efficiency. But we do. On the bridge, Dr. Nathan Clark sat with his eyes closed, a strange helmet on his head. Lieutenant Ben Russell watched him with concern. Is he okay? Ben asked Captain Reeves. Allison checked the monitors. He's fine. He's testing Samantha's neural interface. Nathan opened his eyes and removed the helmet. It works, he said, excitement clear in his voice. I could feel the ship responding to my thoughts. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. Ben looked skeptical. Can it help us fight? Better than that, Nathan replied. I discovered something while connected to the ship's database. The Vraxians left behind tactical files, combat maneuvers, weapon specifications, shield frequencies, information they thought they had deleted. Allison leaned forward. Can we use it? We already are. Nathan gestured to another console where data streamed across the screen. I've translated most of it. The ship had advanced cloaking technology and weapon systems beyond anything the Vraxians admitted to the Coalition. Ben studied the tactical displays with growing interest. With this plus human combat tactics, we could create something the aliens have never seen before. Later that day, Samantha called the team to a large chamber they hadn't fully explored. Before, I found this hidden behind a false wall, she said, pointing to a massive spherical device. It's a weapon core. I think it's what powered their main cannon. Jack examined it carefully. It's damaged but not destroyed. They were sloppy. Can we fix it? Allison asked. Better, Samantha said. I can improve it. Our understanding of particle physics is different from theirs. They focus on brute force. We can make it more precise, more efficient. How long will it take? Allison asked. With Jack's help, maybe a month. Ben studied the weapon specs on his tablet. If this works, we'll have firepower equal to a Vraxian battlecruiser. That night, Allison sent her monthly report to Admiral Foster. She was careful about what she included. The Vraxian spies were still watching, and she wanted them to underestimate Project Phoenix for as long as possible. 2 weeks later, the team gathered for the first full system test. Everyone was tense. Power systems online, Jack reported from engineering. Computer networks functioning, Nathan confirmed. Weapon systems in standby mode, Ben added. Samantha sat in the pilot's chair, the neural interface helmet on her head. Neural link established, she said, her voice filled with wonder. The ship, it feels alive. Allison took a deep breath. Take us out slowly, just a short trip around the asteroid. The ship rose smoothly from its dock. Metal that had been dead for years vibrated with new energy. As they cleared the asteroid base, the viewport showed the blackness of space stretching before them. It's working, Jack whispered. It's really working. On a Vraxian monitoring station, a junior officer rep, the emergency alarm woke Allison at 3 a.m. She rushed to the command center, still pulling on her uniform jacket. Admiral Foster's face was on the main screen, his expression grim. Captain Reeves, we have a situation. The Europa colony is under attack. Allison felt her stomach drop. Europa, Jupiter's moon, was home to 20,000 civilians. Who's attacking? The Kradesh. They're a militant faction within the Coalition. Their ships appeared without warning an hour ago. What's the Coalition doing about it? Allison asked. The Admiral's face hardened. Nothing but diplomatic protests. They claim it's an internal matter that humans need to handle ourselves. Our defense ships in the Jupiter sector? Outgunned. The Kradesh have technology we can't match. The Admiral hesitated. There's more. We intercepted communications that suggest Vraxian involvement. They supplied weapons to the Kradesh. Allison's mind raced. They're testing us. Exactly. And right now, we're failing that test. How close is your project to being operational? She thought about the Phoenix. They had made incredible progress, but it wasn't complete. The weapons systems were still being calibrated. The shield generators were at half strength. The neural interface worked, but wasn't fully stable. We need another month, minimum, she said. The colonists on Europa don't have a month, Captain. After the call ended, Allison gathered her team. They looked tired but determined as she explained the situation. "We can't just sit here while those people die," Jack said. Nathan nodded. "The Phoenix is the only ship we have that might stand a chance against Kradesh technology." "It's not ready," Samantha reminded them. "The weapons aren't fully calibrated. The neural interface could fail under combat stress." Ben Russell, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "Wars aren't won by perfect weapons. They're won by people willing to fight when the odds are against them." He looked at Allison. "I say we go." Allison made her decision. "Prepare the Phoenix for launch. We leave in 6 hours." They worked frantically to ready the ship. Jack pushed the reactor to 90% capacity. Samantha reinforced the neural interface connections. Nathan downloaded all the tactical data he could find on Kradesh ships. As they worked, Nathan made a disturbing discovery. "Captain, I found something in the ship's systems. Hidden tracking and shutdown protocols. If the Vraxians wanted to, they could disable our ship remotely." "Can you block them?" Allison asked. "I think so, but it will take time. Make it a priority. We can't risk them shutting us down in the middle of a fight." 6 hours later, the Phoenix was ready. It wasn't perfect, but it was the best they could do. A skeleton crew of 30 volunteers took their positions. Most were engineers and scientists, not soldiers, but they were all that stood between the Europa colonists and destruction. As they prepared to launch, Admiral Foster called again. "Captain, what you're planning is against direct orders. The official position is to negotiate with the Kradesh." "While they slaughter our people?" Allison asked. The Admiral's expression softened slightly. "For the record, I'm ordering you to stand down." He paused. "Off the record. Give them hell, Captain." The Phoenix left the asteroid base, accelerating faster than any human ship before it. The hybrid drive glowed hot as they pushed it to its limits. Jupiter was 3 days away at maximum speed. On the bridge, Allison watched her crew work. They were scared but focused. Jack monitored the engines from engineering. Samantha fine-tuned the neural interface. Nathan continued to disable the Vraxian tracking systems, and Ben studied the limited information they had on Kradesh attack patterns. "The Kradesh don't know we're coming," Allison told her crew, "and they certainly don't expect what we're bringing." The Phoenix raced through space, a ship built from broken junk, heading toward its first battle. No one knew if it would be there. Lest ordered to his commander. "The humans are moving the Kraleth. Our sensors detect power signatures, but they're strange, different from our technology." The commander laughed. "Let them play with their toy. It's harmless now." "Should we report this to High Command?" the junior officer asked. "Why bother? What could primitives possibly do with broken scraps?" Back on the ship, Allison watched as her team worked together seamlessly. The Phoenix was taking shape, and soon the galaxy would learn that what humans couldn't buy or borrow, they would build from whatever was at hand, even broken junk. Europa looked small against the massive backdrop of Jupiter. The beautiful blue-white moon, once peaceful, was now surrounded by 5 Kradesh warships. Their angular shapes were dark against the colorful gas giant. Explosions flashed across the moon's surface as they bombarded the human colony. On the Phoenix's bridge, the crew watched in horror. "Those monsters," whispered Samantha. "They're targeting civilian areas." Ben Russell studied the tactical display. "The colony's defenses are almost gone. Their shields are failing." Captain Reeves stood from her command chair. "Then we'd better move fast. Status report?" "Engine at full power," Jack's voice came through the comm from engineering. "Weapons charged to 80%, Ben reported. "Neural interface online and stable," added Samantha. Nathan looked up from his console. "I've disabled most of the Vraxian tracking systems, but there might still be some hidden protocols I haven't found." Allison nodded. "It's a risk we'll have to take. Battle stations, everyone." The Phoenix approached from behind Jupiter, using the planet's magnetic field to mask their signature. This was Ben's idea, an old submarine tactic from Earth's naval warfare history. "The Kradesh don't expect resistance," Ben explained. Their sensors are focused on the colony, not on possible threats from space. Good, said Allison. That gives us one chance at surprise. Weapons target? Their lead ship, Ben suggested. It's coordinating the attack. Allison took a deep breath. Samantha, take us in. Full speed once we clear Jupiter's shadow. The Phoenix shot forward, accelerating faster than any human ship had ever moved. The Kradesh didn't detect them until they were almost on top of the lead warship. Fire main cannon, Allison ordered. The weapon that Samantha and Jack had rebuilt fired for the first time. A brilliant beam of energy, more focused and powerful than the Vraxians had designed it to be, sliced through space. It hit the Kradesh, ship's rear section, cutting through shields that should have been impenetrable. The alien ship spun, venting atmosphere and debris. It wasn't destroyed, but it was badly damaged. They're responding, Nathan warned. 4 ships turning toward us. Energy weapons fired from the Kradesh vessels. The Phoenix shuddered as the first hit struck its shields. Shields holding at 60%, Jack reported, his voice strained. But we can't take many direct hits. Ben's fingers flew over the tactical console. Their weapons are targeting based on Vraxian ship profiles. They're expecting us to move like a Vraxian ship would. Then, let's not, Allison said. Samantha, show them what this hybrid can do. Samantha smiled and placed the neural interface helmet on her head. Her eyes closed in concentration. The Phoenix responded instantly, moving in ways no Vraxian ship could match. It spun and dove between enemy fire, using short bursts of acceleration that the human-modified engines made possible. The Kradesh weapons couldn't track them effectively. Most of their shots missed completely. Their targeting systems are confused, Nathan reported, grinning. They can't predict our movement patterns. The Phoenix fired again, this time hitting one of the smaller Kradesh ships. The alien vessel exploded in a ball of fire. 2 Kradesh ships are breaking off the attack on the colony, Ben reported. They're focusing on us now. Good, said Allison. That's what we want. The Phoenix danced through space, taking hits but dealing out more damage than it received. Jack worked frantically in engineering, rerouting power and making emergency repairs using materials and methods the Vraxians would never have considered. When a power coupling blew, he replaced it with a human-made substitute that shouldn't have worked with alien tech news of the Phoenix's victory. At Europa spread quickly through the solar system. Videos of the battle captured by colony cameras showed the modified ship moving with impossible speed and grace. It had defeated 3 Kradesh warships and forced the others to retreat. But not everyone was celebrating. Allison sat in a secure meeting room at Earth Command headquarters. Across from her, 5 grim-faced officials stared her down. Admiral Foster was among them, looking uncomfortable. Captain Reeves, you directly disobeyed orders, said General Hayes. You took an experimental vessel into combat without authorization. I did what was necessary to save the Europa colony, Allison replied calmly. The diplomatic fallout has been severe, said a woman in a business suit. The Vraxian ambassador is demanding the immediate return of what he calls illegally modified Vraxian property. Property they gave to us, Allison pointed out. As a gesture of goodwill, the woman countered. Not to be weaponized against coalition members. Admiral Foster cleared his throat. The fact remains that the Phoenix saved thousands of lives, and we now have proof that the Vraxians supplied weapons to the Kradesh attackers. Unconfirmed proof, General Hayes said. Not enough to risk our standing in the coalition. The meeting dragged on for hours. When Allison finally left, Admiral Foster followed her into the hallway. They're going to order you to surrender the Phoenix, he said quietly. Allison nodded. I know. Will you comply? She met his eyes. Would you? He looked away. Be careful, Allison. The politicians are scared. They'll give the Vraxians whatever. They want to keep the peace. Back at the asteroid base, Allison gathered her core team. Their faces fell as she explained the situation. They want us to hand over the Phoenix? Jack exclaimed. After what we did with it? After what we discovered about the Vraxians? It's politics, Ben said bitterly. They're afraid of starting a war. Nathan looked up from his tablet. Maybe we should show them why they should be more afraid of giving up our only effective defense. He passed the tablet to Allison. On it was a decoded message from the ship's database. I found this while blocking their shutdown signal. It's part of a hidden Vraxian communication log. Allison read it, her face growing pale. They've done this before. Given gifts of broken technology to other species. Then attacked when those species tried to use the technology. Earth was supposed to be their next victim, Samantha realized. But we didn't fail like the others. A warning alert sounded throughout the base. One of the junior officers rushed in. Captain, 6 Vraxian battlecruisers just entered the solar system. They're demanding we turn over the Phoenix and all personnel involved in its modification. Allison looked at her team. Seems we've gotten their attention. What do we do? Samantha asked. We can't fight 6 battlecruisers. No, Allison agreed. Not yet. She turned to Nathan. Are there records of other species the Vraxians have done this to? Nathan nodded. Several. Some aren't even in the Coalition database. They're listed as extinct. And some that aren't extinct? The Tellurians. They're a minor Coalition species. According to these logs, they barely survived a Vraxian correction. Action 50 years ago. Could they help us? Allison asked. Ben considered this. The Tellurians have been quiet in Coalition politics. They mostly keep to themselves. But they might listen if we showed them this evidence. Allison made her decision. Prepare the Phoenix for immediate launch. We're not surrendering to Earth or the Vraxians. Where are we going? Jack asked. First, to pick up some supplies from a cache I've prepared. Then to Tellurian space. If we can't find allies within the Coalition, we'll make our own. As the team rushed to their stations, Allison sent one last message to Admiral Foster. It contained all the evidence they'd found of Vraxian manipulation and a single line of text. Sometimes you have to break the rules to expose the truth. Within an hour, the Phoenix slipped away from the asteroid base, vanishing into deep space just as the first Vraxian ships entered Earth orbit. Knowledge, but somehow did. Captain, Nathan called out suddenly. I'm detecting a new signal. A Vraxian. Transmission aimed directly at us. Allison felt a chill. They're trying to activate the shutdown protocols. Blocking it, Nathan said, fingers racing across his console. But they know we're here now. They know what we've done with their gift. The battle continued, the Phoenix striking fast and retreating, drawing the Kradesh away from the colony. It wasn't fighting like a Vraxian ship. It was fighting like a human one, resourceful, unpredictable, and refusing to give up even when outmatched. And to everyone's surprise, it was winning. The Tellurian home system was hidden behind a dense dust cloud. It made a perfect natural shield against unwanted visitors. The Phoenix approached slowly, broadcasting peaceful intentions on all frequencies. Any response? Allison asked. Nathan shook his head. Nothing yet, but they must have detected us by now. Suddenly, small ships appeared around them. They were unlike any vessels they had seen before, organic-looking, with curved surfaces that seemed to flow like liquid. We're surrounded, Ben reported. At least 20 ships. Small, but they're targeting us. Hold position, Allison ordered. No aggressive moves. A voice crackled over their communication system. Human vessel, you have entered protected space. State your purpose. Allison stepped forward. This is Captain Allison Reeves of the Earthship Phoenix. We seek an audience with your leaders regarding Vraxian aggression. There was a long pause. Then, follow our escort. Any deviation will be met with force. The Phoenix was guided to a space station orbiting a small moon. Its design was strange, part technology, part living material. Once docked, Allison selected a small team to join her. Nathan, with his knowledge of the evidence, and Ben, for security. They were met by 3 Tellurians. The aliens were shorter than humans with pale blue skin and large, dark eyes. They moved with a fluid grace that suggested they evolved in an aquatic environment. I am Silvara, speaker for the council, said the lead Tellurian. We are curious why humans come to us speaking of Vraxians. In a secure meeting room, Nathan displayed the evidence they had gathered. The Tellurians watched silently as he explained. This ship was given to us as junk, Nathan said. The Vraxians expected us to fail when we tried to use it. Instead, we rebuilt it. And now they hunt you, Silvera stated. It wasn't a question. Yes, Allison confirmed. They want to destroy what we created and hide what we discovered. That they have done this to many species, Silvera said softly, including ours. The Tellurian touched a control, and a holographic display appeared. It showed a devastated planet. This was our colony world, Silvera explained. 50 years ago, the Vraxians gave us technology we did not understand. When we adapted it, they claimed we had stolen military secrets. Their response was thorough. I'm sorry, Allison said. We survived by hiding, continued Silvera. We rebuilt in secret. We learned to combine technology with organic materials, something the Vraxians consider primitive. They left us alone, thinking us broken and no longer a threat. But you're not broken, Ben observed, looking at the advanced room around them. No, agreed Silvera. And neither are you. The Tellurian studied them. There are others. Species. The Vraxians have manipulated, weakened, or isolated within the coalition. Some who survived their corrections. A coalition of the bullied, Nathan suggested. We monitor coalition communications, Silvera said. News of your ship defeating Deadliest warships has spread. Others are watching, wondering if humans have found a way to stand against Vraxian power. We have, Allison said firmly. But not alone. We need allies. Silvera conferred with the other Tellurians in their own language. Finally, they turned back to the humans. We will help you contact others who might join us, but first, your ship interests us greatly. The Vraxians would never expect their own technology to be used against them, especially by those they consider primitive. The Phoenix isn't just Vraxian anymore, Allison pointed out. It's human too. Perhaps it should be more, suggested Silvera. Our biotechnology could enhance your systems further, make them even less recognizable to Vraxian sensors. Back on the Phoenix, Jack and Samantha met Wit. 3 months later, the Phoenix led a fleet of ships toward the Coalition headquarters. It was no longer just a modified Vraxian vessel. The ship had evolved into something new, part Vraxian, part human, part Tellurian, with elements from a dozen other species who had joined their cause. On the bridge, Allison looked at the tactical display. 27 ships followed behind them. None were large battlecruisers. All were vessels that had been overlooked, underestimated, or considered obsolete. Vraxian battle group detected, Ben announced. 35 ships approaching from Sector 7. They're forming a blockade around Coalition headquarters. Allison nodded. She had expected this. All ships maintain formation. Remember the plan. The Vraxian High Commander's face appeared on their screen. He looked both angry and amused. Captain Reeves, your little rebellion ends here. Surrender the abomination you call a ship, and perhaps some of your allies will be spared punishment. We're not here to fight, Commander, Allison replied calmly. We're here to present evidence to the full Coalition Council. The Vraxian laughed. Evidence of what? That primitive stole and corrupted technology they cannot understand. The Council will never hear you. We'll see, Allison said, ending the transmission. She turned to Nathan. Is the broadcast ready? Nathan nodded. The evidence is packaged. Once we're in range of the main communication hub, we can bypass their blocks and send it directly to every Coalition world. And our other preparations? She asked Jack and Samantha. The final modifications are complete, Jack reported from engineering. If we need to fight, we're as ready as we'll ever be. Samantha adjusted her neural interface. The ship feels different, more responsive, almost like it's anticipating commands. The Tellurian biotechnology, Nathan explained. It's adaptive, learning. The fleet moved forward. The Vraxian ships, spread out, preparing to intercept them. They're targeting us, Ben warned. Weapons charging. Hold course, Allison ordered. All ships, defensive formation. The first Vraxian shots fired. The Phoenix moved with incredible speed, its enhanced shields absorbing impacts that should have destroyed it. The smaller ships in their fleet scattered according to plan, drawing the Vraxians into a complex pursuit pattern. Now, Jack. Allison, called in engineering. Jack activated the modifications he and Samantha had been working on for weeks. Energy surged through the Phoenix's systems. The ship shuddered, then transformed. Sections of the hull reconfigured. Weapons platforms emerged from hidden compartments. The hybrid reactor core glowed with new intensity. The Vraxians paused in confusion. Their sensors couldn't make sense of what they were seeing. The Phoenix no longer registered as a Vraxian ship or even a ship at all by their classification systems. "We're in range of the communication hub," Nathan reported. "Broadcasting now." Across the coalition, on thousands of worlds, the evidence appeared. Records of Vraxian manipulation, strategies to cripple emerging species, names of civilizations that had been destroyed for developing too quickly. The Vraxians' own logs condemning them. The Phoenix drove toward the heart of the Vraxian formation. It moved in ways no ship had ever moved before, firing weapons that combined technologies from multiple species. 3 Vraxian ships fell in the first pass. More scattered in confusion as their targeting systems failed completely. "Their formation is breaking," Ben reported, grinning. "They can't track us." Allison opened a channel to the Vraxian commander. "Your choice, Commander. Continue this fight and lose more ships, or stand down and face the Coalition Council." For a long moment, there was silence. Then, one by one, the Vraxian ships powered down their weapons. A new transmission came in from the Coalition Council chamber. "Captain Reeves, this is Council Elder Koran. We have received your evidence. It is most disturbing. The Council requests your presence immediately." As the Phoenix docked at Coalition headquarters, Allison looked at her crew. They were tired but proud. What had started with a broken, discarded ship had turned into something revolutionary. "You know," Jack said quietly, "I almost want to thank the Vraxians for their gift." "Don't thank them yet," Allison replied. "We still have to rebuild the Coalition into something fair for all species, not just the powerful ones." Samantha smiled. "If we can turn their junk into the galaxy's deadliest warship, I think we can handle a little politics." The crew of the Phoenix stepped off their ship and into history, proving that sometimes the most dangerous gift is the one given to those who see possibilities where others see only broken pieces. Tellurian engineers. Soon, strange organic components were being integrated into the ship's systems. The hybrid vessel was becoming something entirely new, neither fully mechanical nor fully organic. "The Vraxians think technology must follow certain rules," explained a Tellurian engineer. "Their arrogance blinds them to other possibilities." As the work progressed, messages went out to other species across the galaxy. Secret communications. To those who had suffered under Vraxian manipulation, a resistance was forming, and at its center was a ship built from what the Vraxians had discarded as junk.